The war on crypto maintains to rage on, and in this video we're going to be addressing something crazy happening around the IRS, which is placing a massive spotlight back at the big subject matter going all the way back to 2023, which changed into Operation Choke Point 2.2.0. And we've a lot to speak approximately on this video. So with that being said, welcome to the channel, each person. My call is Nick. For those which might be new to the channel, with a bit of luck with the aid of the quit of this video, you do end up a subscriber. Let's dive on in. Let's now not waste any time due to the fact I should deal with this. DeFi. DeFi is certainly one of the biggest pieces of this area, having over $147 billion simply tied to the DeFi tokens by myself. Over $10 billion worth of trading extent at the 24-hour span. Some of those are the biggest tasks obtainable in the space, and it doesn't even include each single DeFi project. I imply even supposing we virtually reflect on consideration on it. Ethereum is certainly one of the most important DeFi projects. It really is no longer even indexed on right here. If we pass over right here to DeFi Llama as an example, there's over $220 billion in total cost locked, $205 billion really worth of strong coins around DeFi area, $1.05 billion worth of trading extent in the closing 24 hours, and over $106 billion in phases of total investment amount. But if we in reality examine the pinnacle DeFi chains, Ethereum has over 1,264 DeFi protocols tied to it, $140 billion well worth of TVL. So if we're certainly thinking about how large the DeFi market is, it's huge. It's the biggest piece of this entire space, and all of us loves DeFi. Why? Well, decentralized finance lets in us to be our own bank. It allows us to make passive earnings. It permits us to essentially be financially free. And I do suppose that it is kind of main us down that path. But the trouble proper now could be we are seeing a large portion of this market being attacked. And DeFi, nicely, it is on the slicing block, right? This isn't always a shaggy dog story. This isn't like, oh, you already know, it's clickbait, it's this, that. No, this is a severe trouble. If we take a look at Uniswap and even SushiSwap, those are two of the largest DEX tasks within the space, decentralized exchanges. Now, we recognize 1inch, we know of, you understand pancake swappers properly. There's lots of exceptional DEX tokens available. We ought to even visit Solana, for example, and point out you realize Juniper and Radium as nicely, but Uniswap and SushiSwap have been around all the time now. Uniswap was one in every of the largest projects returned in 2020 and 2021. There was an airdrop truly around Uni that amounted to love $25,000 well worth of free, you understand, airdrop tokens, which is insane. But if we examine this element, Uniswap continues to be very big these days. Maybe now not as massive because it became back in 2021. With how an awful lot hype there has been. However, it's far nonetheless one in all the most important projects inside the space. Sushi chain sort of died down, but it's because it has been getting attacked for properly over years now, which we are able to cope with. And even talking approximately that, let's in reality just get into it proper. Back in 2023, and I suggested in this decentralized finance change, SushiSwap and its CEO, Jared Gray, were served a subpoena via the SEC closing week, a part of a regulatory crackdown on crypto that has left the DEX's CEO not inspired. Now, mind you, that is again in March of 2023. What became going on? Well, financial institution collapses have been going on, but bet what? It wasn't simply conventional banks. No, it was seasoned crypto banks that had been basically compelled to shut down. They had no desire but to shut down. And it truly is, whilst we commence to look at the debanking of crypto going on within the US as properly. But why? Why decentralized finance? Why changed into DeFi being targeted? Well, we know that DeFi remains being focused. Here we have returned in April, truly of this year. This is from Hayden Adams, the CEO of Uniswap. These days, Uniswap Labs acquired a Wells Observe from the SEC. I'm not amazed, simply irritated, dissatisfied, and prepared to fight. I'm assured that the products we offered are prison and that our work is at the proper facet of history. But it's been clear for some time that rather than working to create clean, informed roles, the SEC is determined to focus on attacking long-term good actors like Uniswap and Coinbase, all while letting horrific actors like FTX slip with the aid of. When I first set out to build Uniswap, the intention wasn't to reimagine finance. It became a test in radically decentralized, absolutely automated on-chain markets. I didn't know if it'd work or if each person would use it. Fast forward to these days, the Uniswap protocol has processed over $2 trillion in quantity, have forked our code or built on pinnacle of it. We built completely new financial infrastructure. This is transparent, honest, secure, and reachable, powering an entire industry. The group at Uniswap did all of this inside the US from our workplace in New York City. People regularly question me why we stay in the US, and my solution is straightforward. I accept as true with that blockchain is fairly powerful era. Like the internet, it's here to stay, so someone needs to figure it out, and it would as nicely be us. And that whilst you build era that improves human beings' lives, you don't want to hide. The SEC's mission is protective traders, preserving fair, orderly and efficient markets, and facilitating capital formation. This is a noble challenge. I would argue that Uniswap does a far better activity of this nowadays than the SEC. Yes, I'm frustrated that the SEC appears to be more involved with shielding OPEC structures than protecting clients, and that we'll ought to fight a US authorities corporation to defend their corporation and our industry. This fight will take years, may match all the way to the Supreme Court, and the destiny of economic generation and our enterprise hangs in the balance. If we stand together, we will win. I assume freedom is worth combating for. I think DeFi is worth preventing for, and of course we might not prevent delivery. Stay tuned. Now this changed into again in April of this 12 months. Okay, even nowadays we maintain to peer DeFi attacked. I put out a published concerning DeFi returned in April. There's one even previous to this as nicely that I said, you recognize it is absolute confidence why we're seeing DeFi being attacked, but I said right here, allow or not, it's acknowledged that the SEC is focused on self-custody and DeFi as an entire. It started out with the Wells Be Aware, the sushi change, then Uniswap, and now MetaMask is being centered as properly. Remember that the SEC additionally claimed Coinbase Wallet is an unregistered dealer too. And it truly is a large attention right here due to the fact you're probably saying, well, Nick, how does the SEC and what they had been doing returned in 2024, 2023? What do they need to do with the IRS? We're going to get to that here in a second. The awareness right here is the broking type of a stand that they have been pushing. Say what you're about, ETH and it being focused, but my essential awareness is on DeFi and self-custody. This is turning into a much bigger trouble. Imagine if they began concentrated on cold storage pockets agencies that can nonetheless be within the plan. Open your eyes to how a great deal of damage the SEC is attempting to do to this industry. Now, we understand for a fact that Operation Choke Factor 2.0 goes past the FDIC, for an instance. This was discovered returned inside the beginning of December. And we have breaking FDIC letters screen. US banks have been advised to pause crypto activities. We respectfully ask which you pause all crypto-associated hobby. Operation Choke Point 2.2.0 is being uncovered in real time. And it remains a massive attention nowadays, but the problem is that not anything is happening. It's now not improving. We keep to see crypto being attacked. We have over right here, this is from Paul Grohl from Coinbase. Slowly, however, definitely the picture is becoming clear. After we sued the FDGov in the end, began giving us facts associated with our FOIA request about the pause letters it sent to economic establishments as a part of Operation Choke Point 2.0. In quick, the contents are a shameful example of a government enterprise looking to reduce off economic get entry to law-abiding American corporations. So, some distance, we've uncovered extra than 20 examples of the FDIC telling banks to pause or chorus from providing or now not continue with supplying crypto banking services. The public merits transparency no longer in company. It really is working behind a bureaucratic curtain. We don't have the overall letters yet. However, what we've seen to date speaks volumes. Take a look for yourself. In the period in between, we're going to keep pushing to get readability from our regulators through FOIA request and every other means essential. Now, if we fast forward to, you recognize November is nicely here. We've on the give up of November. Ripple CTO David Schwartz lately joined the listing of tech founders speaking out against Operation Choke Point 2.0, pronouncing the government is cooked on oblique regulation. All of that is constructing up for this. Even over right here from Stuart Arity, we have Operation Choke Point 2.0. The origin story, this is the kilo of Ripple. In 2012, regulators FDIC, OCOCC, and the Fed weaponized banks towards disfavored industries, gun shops, payday lenders, and so on, beneath the authentic Operation Choke Point 2.0.